Hello, welcome to Greenhat-Redbeard Adventures. I'm going to show you how to make your own char cloth. And basically what I'm using for today is probably one of the more popular materials, which is 100% cotton material. If it's a material that has like a mixture of cotton and something else, then it's not going to work very well. But if it's 100% cotton, for example, t-shirts, or in this particular case, I'm using a bandana. It's 100% cotton, it says so right on the bandana itself. And I've got a whole bunch of slices in there as well. And they're cut to a nice, decent size. And you're gonna need a tin container. Altoids tin is probably one of the most popular tins out there. You don't have to poke a hole in the top of the tin, although I personally, I like doing it, because the hinges areas, this little slits there will be enough for gases to escape. But personally, I like poking a hole, and it's just a habit. So I usually poke a hole right in the middle, where you can see there's one right there in the middle of the O. And basically you put your materials inside of here, whether you put them in little squares like I did, or you take a material and roll it and then put the rolls in there, so maximum amounts of cotton can be stuck in there. Whether it's one or the other doesn't matter, because it's so long as you keep it in the fire for a good period of time, 10 to 12 minutes is usually good, or when the smoke stops spewing out is usually a good indication of when it's cooked. And a good thing about this is that you can't overcook it, you can only undercook it. So if I pull this out too early and it's still orange, obviously didn't do it enough. Or if it's brown, then you just gotta stick it back in the fire again and continue doing it longer. I can stick this in there for like an hour and nothing will happen. You know, once it's cooked, it's cooked. So unfortunately, however, there is a fire ban here in Ontario, Canada at the moment where I am. So unfortunately, I'm using my Trangia burner here. I got the Trangia right here. I'm going to show you in a second. So I got my Trangia burning right there. We're going to stick my tin right on top of there. So whether it be a fire or even on top of this, you should see smoke spewing out of that little hole on top, usually within 30 seconds. Could be a little more, could be a little less, but most times it will be roughly around less than 30 seconds. And also you're going to notice that because this is a brand new tin container, the paint on it is also going to burn. So don't get too alarmed if you start seeing flames all over it. See, it's already starting to burn. You can see the flames working around the sides there. That's nothing to be concerned about, but there is smoke starting to spew out of that little hole there. You can see a little bit there. And the material and the paint on this is going to burn off. That's completely normal. You're going to notice that quite a bit. And you can always see a little bit, and sometimes it's going to be like a candle-sized flame spewing out of that little hole there. Sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. Again, nothing to worry yourself about. And that's just the gases escaping. Basically, you're in a position of where you've cut out the oxygen inside the tin. So there's not enough oxygen inside that tin for the material to ignite. So it's basically just going to cook itself almost like an oven effect with no oxygen. So it's going to cook itself. Believe me, when I tell you this, I'm not here to give you a big science lesson or nothing like that, to give you all the flashy dashy terminology. You know, this is char cloth making. We're not here for a science lesson. So, you know, you can see now the paint is really starting to burn itself off. You can see that little candle style flame pushing out a little hole there. But I'm not going to make you, and basically a good amount of time to wait is roughly on average is about 10 to 12 minutes, or when the smoke stops spewing out of that little hole there. Now, I'm not going to make you wait for 10 or 12 minutes just watching this thing, because it's going to get quite boring. But before I started the video, I did have this is actually a second batch I've got going on here. I got a first batch that I've already made right here. And this is out of the same Altoids tin, same size and everything. I also use the same bandana material, same size, same amount of pieces, same everything. So when you pull this out of the fire, when you pull this out of the fire, what you're going to want to do is you want to let it sit for a while. Don't open it right away. Two reasons. One, of course, is obviously, well, if you're going to burn yourself, which is not good. But more importantly, you're going to burn the contents. If you open it up, expose that oxygen, and then the thing's just going to ignite and it becomes useless. So don't open it right away. Let it sit there cool for a good period of time. 5-10 minutes maybe. You'll definitely want it to be cold enough for you to be able to touch it by hand and not burn yourself, and not be too warm either. Then you open it up, and it's going to look like this. No matter what color the material is, no matter what color, whether you saw it yourself, it was orange, it'll turn black. It'll be sooty. The material itself will be easy, very easy to pull apart. So here's one little slice. I can see through it. And look, it just pulled apart like nothing. It's just so easy to pull apart. So it's going to be black. It's going to be almost like a sooty kind of feel to it. It's going to be very light, very brittle, and very easy to pull apart. And it's going to be hopefully perfect. If it's, like I said, if it's any other color than black, then you might want to put it back on, expose it back to the flame. So I got my flint and steel kit here now, and I'm going to test out this new char material that I have here and make sure it works. It's always a good idea just to pull out 1 or 2 pieces, make sure that it works good. Whether you use your flint and steel kit is usually what I like to do. You can also use your ferro rod or magnifying glass. Unfortunately, there is no sun in the sky today. There's supposed to be a storm rolling in, so magnifying glass is not going to work. So here's my flint and steel. Actually, you know what? Before I forget, should probably close the tin just in case one of those little sparks get into the tin. It lights the whole thing up, and just in which case it just renders everything pointless. Oh, there we go. That was quick. Perfect. Of course, this cotton material is a lot more lighter in thickness than like in a t-shirt. I usually use old t-shirts, for example, and the material is a little bit thicker than this is. This stuff's very light, so that there seems to be, it's on the ground right here between my legs, and it's burning up almost, it's almost done burning up completely. So it's a lot more lighter, so therefore it's gonna probably burn up pretty quickly. I got some other char cloth sitting out here as well. It's like a little bit left. That's why I'm making this. And this one here is from an old t-shirt like this. And this material, I can't see through it obviously like the other one. So this one here is obviously a lot more thicker by comparison. And I'm gonna give you a quick demo on this one here. Yeah, there we go. See, this one here is still burning up, but it's not burning up as quickly as the stuff before. So, old jeans works really great, I think. I've heard that old jeans work really well. Like I said, cotton t-shirts. Ooh, it's hot. I usually use up old work shirts when I'm finished with them. They're full of holes and covered in dirt, crap, junk, whatever. And I'll cut them up and use them for a char cloth. I'll stick it to the side and save it. But all in all, you know, it's just that's basically what it is. There's so many other materials that can be used. Punky wood is an excellent example. It's also a very popular one because punky wood can be found in the woods almost anywhere you go. Like, I'm surrounded by punky wood on the ground right here in front of me. In fact, I got like, oh, there's a punky wood right there. So punky wood, exact same thing. You fill up your container with the punky wood, put it onto the fire, let it cook for 10-12 minutes, pull it out, let it cool, open it up. It'll be black, it'll be charred. And I actually got some right here, and it'll look like this. This is punky wood right here. Oop. It'll be very brittle. It'll be very easy to break apart. And it catches a spark really easily with a ferro rod, flint and steel, as well as a magnifying glass. Works really great. The only, like, you can put big, huge chunks in your tin, and when it's done, it'll actually shrink itself right down a little bit. So, like, when you think you've got the tin container overflowing, and then when it's done cooking, it'll actually look like it's so much more less than it was before. So it'll shrink down quite a bit. Anyways, that was how to make char cloth out of 100% cotton material. This is Greenhat-Redbeard Adventures. Stay safe, have fun.